the arena is not a natural occurring thing. It's a machine. So there has to be ways for that machine to work itself. There has to be ways into the inner workings of the arena, and that's what Hamage is told to find. Welcome back once again to another bookish review. The book we are going to be talking about today, Sunrise and the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. This is a new addition into the world of the Hunger Games, though you do not need to read this book or the previous ones together to understand the story that comes with them. This review will contain spoilers for this book, so if you do not want this book spoiled for you, since it is newer, probably not as new by the time you see this review, but if you don't want spoilers for this book, you can read it and come back to this once you've read it. And with that being said, let's get into the characters of this book. The characters of this book are Hamage Abernathy. And if you don't know, he was Katniss's and Peeta's mentor in the Hunger Games. Hamage in this book is very much a kind-hearted, willing to help, hardworking, love-struck kid. And I feel like what happens to him is very unfair and both very unlucky, because all the other characters are kind of just side characters and there to propel Hamage's story. I don't want to say they don't matter in the long run, but this book mainly focuses on Hamage. Now, let's get into my thoughts on this book. So, like I said, what happens to Hamage? Very unfair and very unlucky. So, not only is Hamage's birthday the day of the reaping, which what a sucky birthday that would be to have. Oh, it's your birthday? You get to go draw your name to be placed in a death game. And he's a resident of District 12, just like a certain other character, Katniss Everdeen. And as I was watching kind of Hamage's go along his day before he went to the reaping, I'm like, he's kind of like Katniss, so it's kind of fitting that later on down the line he becomes her mentor, because it just works. Like, they have the same sort of stubbornness to them and the same sort of kind of screw you that they have towards the Capitol, because it's not fair. The Capitol is punishing people, namely children, who had nothing to do with the war that happened hundreds of years ago at this point. It stops becoming punishment the second you involve people that had nothing to do with those war, and none of these kids had anything to do with the war that happened. So you're just evil and murderous bastards who need to go up in smoke, in my opinion. So Hamage goes to the reaping. Everything is fine and dandy. He doesn't actually get chosen for the reaping, but then due to actions from his girlfriend, who went to the person that decided to try and run after his name was selected and got a bullet in the brain for his efforts, they cut the cameras. They're like, whoa, 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 that can't be shown to the public because we need to show the public that the Capitol is in control at all times, because if they think there's a flaw in the system, they're going to exploit that and try to rebel again. And since this is the Quarter Quell, where 24 would originally be selected, 48 go in, 2 boys and 2 girls from each district. So they cut the cameras and been like, well, since your girlfriend tried to help and you tried to protect her from the peacekeepers, you're being a rebellious brat, Hamage, so your name's gonna go into the pot and it's gonna be selected. And we're gonna make it seem like it was random choice. And because of this, Snow, the president, already has an eye out for Hamage because he views him as a rebellious troublemaker who could become a potentially worse problem in the future. There are people that viewed his act of trying to pull his girlfriend away from the chaos as him being willing to destroy and drown the arena, to finally put an end to the games so the reapings couldn't happen again, so the games couldn't happen again. He's like, I'm 16 years old. I was just trying to get my girlfriend away from things. I don't know why you think I'm this rebellious mastermind, but you got the wrong guy. I just wanted to go have the reaping be over with so I could go into the woods with my girlfriend and have a good rest of my birthday. I don't know what you think I'm capable of doing. But so he decides that since the capital already thinks he's a rascal, they went with that angle instead of a flat out rebellious person, because that would not be liked in the capital, of course. So when they're taken onto the train and through all of that, they are handcuffed and treated as if they are no better than animals. Which I'm like, how does the public not see how sadistic and cruel all of this is? Because their ancestors hundreds of years ago rebelled against the capital in a war, probably for the same reason that you are doing to them right now. It's funny how evil people never see the evil that they do to others, but they see every single evil act that others do to them. There was a part where they were riding the chariots like they do to introduce the four, in this case, kids from each district. And I don't know what the heck happened. Somebody was not doing their job, but the horses freaked out and just dashed through the track, causing a big crash. And one of the girls from 12 had died. Haymitch's sweetheart is what he calls her. Lucia had died. And these sadistic bastards took another little girl from a different district and drugged her and made her out to look like Lucia so they could act like that accident never happened for the cameras. Even though the people that were present in that auditorium during that crash know full well that she died there, but they made it look like she miraculously recovered. So they're forced to play like this poor girl is Lucia, even though she's not. But Haymitch's journey through the games is like, can I win this without killing anybody? Can I stick to my I'm a rascal angle and try to flood the arena like these people think I'm capable of? And his cameraman is trying to help, and he's like, you work for the capital? Why should I trust you? How do you think this plan's gonna work? Because the arena is not a natural occurring thing. It's a machine. So there has to be ways for that machine to work itself. There has to be ways into the inner workings of the arena. And that's what Haymitch is told to find by his cameraman and by Beatty, which is a character that shows up in Catching Fire, which I thought that was cool. And Beatty is angry because they took his son, because Beatty was caught doing stuff he was not supposed to be doing in the capital's eyes, and because Beatty was too valuable to kill, they were like, okay, we're gonna punish you by putting your son in the games. But of course, the capital had taken measures to make sure that the arena could run if something were to happen to its main source of power, because they want their sadistic games to run without issue or without worry. This book is a very good way to show that you can't always believe accounts, because everyone who was there, who witnessed everything firsthand, all the makeup artists and all the actual cameraman and the editing crew that has to edit everything, and all of them, unless they kill them all, they know the truth. They know what really happened. But they are complicit in feeding the public absolute crocks of shit, absolute lies, because they edit the footage from the games in a way that didn't happen and tells the narrative that they want to tell. Like they edited out the shooting at Haymitch's reaping. and made it look like Haymitch was randomly picked from the bowl. They edited out certain moments of Haymitch being able to see his family, and they edited things from the games to make it look like certain events happened at certain times when that's not how it actually happened. That just goes to show that history is written by the victors, and you cannot always believe what you see, hear, or read. You have to take your own discretion and know your own mind and figure the true facts out for yourself, because you can't always depend on what's right in front of you to tell the truth. But that is what the Capitol does. They fake everything and they switch things around to fit their narrative. And all the while, Snow, who is talking to a 16-year-old, is acting like he is superior and smarter and just like he has Haymitch right where he wants him. And yes, he does. Haymitch is in the game. He is being punished for being rebellious just because he wanted to help his girlfriend. And all the while, I'm sitting here thinking, you are a grown man threatening a 16-year-old boy. You are pathetic. Good lord, what is your issue? I feel so bad for Haymitch because he didn't deserve any of this. None of these kids deserve any of this. They didn't have anything to do with the war that happened. But finally getting to see Haymitch's Hunger Games after all these years was so cool. And the ending of the book is so heart-wrenching, and you find out why he becomes the drunk that he is in the Hunger Games. And it makes his drunkenness and his standoffishness in the Hunger Games make so much more sense, because the Capitol literally took everything from him. Everything. Even when he thought he made it out. And it's like, oh, this book was so good. I feel like some authors, when they come back to a series after years of being away from it, they lose some of their spark a little bit, but I feel like this book feels exactly like how the Hunger Games felt. And I loved it, and I'm so glad I read it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope to see you next time. Bye!